Hello everybody, it's Joel from Silver Arrow Cars, and we're back with another no reserve auction. This is our 2007 65,000 mile Toyota Sequoia Limited. This is a 2007, as I said, and is the last year of this body style, the first generation of the Toyota Sequoia. And in recent years, this has begun to climb into the coveted territory of Toyota enthusiasts, guys that are using these for overland vehicles, people that just don't like the new modern ones and search for these low mileage first generation trucks to use as a family vehicle. A lot of the ones you'll see out there have very high mileage and were used for just that, and being that they were either 7 or 6 passenger vehicles, this one's a 6 passenger, they were used for traveling around with the kids and family purposes. So usually they have very high mileage and are very rusty and have all sorts of issues. Not the case with this one. It's beautiful. It's in extremely good condition, and now I'm just going to walk you around and show it to you. So first place we stop on any vehicle is the front. And what are we looking at for paint damage or chipping? Really nothing. You can see this leading edge of the hood and grille. It's in beautiful shape. We've done no paint work on this vehicle. All we've done is polish and paint it, or sorry, polish and prepare it. We have done no paint work. Headlights, they're in great shape. No crazy pitting. You'll see that along that chrome, or the plastic chrome on the front. No crazy pitting or anything on that, which I would expect for 65,000 miles. There's the odd little mark. You'll see a couple there in around the fog light on the front bumper, especially in the lower areas. This is usually going to be covered by your license plate, but a little bit of chafing there from probably the license plate frame. Little mark here, but all in all, no pitting, which is very indicative of why we'd see it in this condition. If perhaps it had been painted and chips repaired on the hood, you'd likely see some evidence in emblems and these materials and the headlights of pitting that probably would have resulted in chips on the hood. Same thing goes for the front glass. No real pitting or chips in it. And then down the side of the vehicle, really not a lot to point out. Just really good condition. So hard to find these in this shape that aren't completely either rusted out or lots of dents and dings from family use. Chrome caps, again, very mirror-like, no real damage or anything to speak of. Totally clean. The paint is in spectacular condition. The running boards as well, the plastics. A little bit of marking here on the rubbers on the doors or on the window seals, but again, on these pillars, those are in great shape. The wheels, they look like they've been refinished at some point. You can kind of see it there. But other than that, the wheels are in great shape. These tires we replaced. So these were done, all brand new tires this year or maybe last year. But they're under a year old. Those are brand new. I think they're 265 70 17s. Yes, I'm correct. And that's a BFG KO2. So that's snowflake rated. That's an all-season tire. You don't have to switch to that in the winter if you don't want to. Same with on the front. Now, when we brought this vehicle, or when this vehicle was brought into Canada less than a year ago, it has to go through a federal and then a provincial. So it'd be the same thing in the US as, say, a federal and then a state inspection to make sure it's safe and everything is working correctly, all lights are working correctly, brakes, things like that. So if, say, the brakes are no good or they need replacing, anything like that, that'll get done before it's allowed to be registered in Canada. So that was done, and we'll get a copy of that and include that in the auction. Around to the back, again, I don't really have anything to point out. The paint's spectacular. The bumper's in great shape. No massive dings or dents. It does have a factory, what looks to be the factory receiver, 2-inch receiver hitch with the trailer hook up there. So one of the things that was added when it was brought into Canada, our client spent about, it was $3,500, and that's when they had a new head unit put in. So a new modern head unit was put into the truck that has Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And at that same time, that's when they added the reverse camera there on the license plate frame. Coming around to the passenger side, looks like there's a little scuff here. Pretty typical on these. Not very noticeable. No deep gouges into the paint. But I will point that out. And then the rest of the passenger side, I've got really nothing to point out to you. A little marked there on the door trim. But in quite incredible condition again for the age and mileage, and considering what these were used for. Another little scuff here. Looks like there's a little bit of that same one here and a mark there. Mirror caps in great shape. A little bit of aging. Some spots probably from some drive-through car washes on the rubber trim around the window. But pretty incredible. I'm actually going to go around to the other side. Maybe we'll pop up this rear hatch while we're at it. There's one of those original VIN tags on the rear hatch. A lot of Toyota people will look at these rear hatch latches for rust, or the bolts. Well, I do anyway anytime I'm looking at one. The hatch struts still have lots of juice. That's rear trim. And the plastics in and around the back are all quite scratch free. There's one of the headrests for the center of the rear seats, of the rear row. Power point not broken, that's nice. All the seats are in really great shape. There's a little bit of wear to show, I think, on the driver's seat, but it's quite minor. Door panels. All the speakers were replaced, so it's a combination of Kenwood, I believe, and Focal speakers in all the doors. That was done at the same time as the rear reverse camera and the head unit. So these front seats, they'll collapse. And then, I believe if we pull this, they fold forward. There is no center console that goes along with this truck, unfortunately. And then those rear seats are in great shape as well. Obviously not used much. And I would guess from the mileage, it wasn't for carting around family. So we're gonna do this one-handed. I cannot. But looking at the other passenger seat and door panel, all quite tidy. Headliner, doesn't look like this thing hauled any large furniture pieces or anything tall, because there's no big scrapes in the headliner, kick marks, anything like that. Does have rear climate that is controlled here. Looks like the two volume knobs are missing in the back for the headphones. There is no headphones that comes with it. All the fans and everything work on the rear climate. I think the AC could use a recharge. It's cool but not cold. Did have it on during the driving video, however. All the wood trim looks great. Strangely, it came to us with no floor mats, and we are missing that pad, which should be quite easy to get. Carpets look great. So this is that wear I was talking about on the side of the driver's seat. Pretty typical on a lot of these older Toyotas. Another VIN tag. I believe that you'll find on all of the panels. Let's just get inside the truck. There's the odometer. Here's that head unit. Now I don't have my phone to connect to it, but they did install right down here your USB ports to connect to it. And if I put it in reverse, there you'll see the backup camera. Automatic climate control, pretty typical on these. This is your center diff lock, and then toggled into 4 high and 4 low. Kill that. All the dash and everything is in great shape. Nothing to really point out here. Center console. Lots of room in there. Now this one does have, it was an option on these trucks, it does have the rear suspension leveling, so you can either manually do it by toggling on that, or you leave it to automatically do depending on the load. Your power mirrors does have heated seats in the front. And then all your original books plus the head unit. There you go. Oh, one moment.